Yo, 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 welcome back to the Midseason Breakdown. Here we are after the All-Star break. Games are starting tonight, and I'm going to start doing these a couple times a week, I think. I'm going to start putting out 2 a week, breaking down the NBA, what's going on. So I hope you guys are down to clown. And down to fucking get ready for the down back stretch of this NBA season. The down back is what they call it. My name's JD. So let's go. So we're going to start off with the contenders and the current standings, right? Current standings in the East right now. Celtics are in first place, followed by the Cavs, Bucks, Knicks, 76ers, and Pacers. And then the play-in 7 through 10 seeds right now, as of right now, are the Heat, Magic, Bulls, and Hawks. Now, I don't see much changing out of this. The bottom 5, we have the Nets, Raptors, Hornets, Wizards, Pistons. The Nets just fired their coach. They're going to go in a different direction next season. I don't know why they didn't trade Mikal Bridges for 5 first-round picks like that was like they were reportedly offered. I love Mikal. I'm wearing my Suns things, if you don't know. Phoenix native, Suns fan my whole life. And if you're the Nets, you can't build around him if you want to win a championship team in the near future. I think Mikal is a fantastic third option. 2A, 2B, you could call it. But as the first option on the team, I don't think he can do it for you. He's got to devote his energy elsewhere on the defensive end, being a glue guy and other things. You're going to need at least one 1A scoring type of player alongside of him. So the Nets, I don't see them making the playoffs. The Raptors, who knows? Okay, their new coach is the fiery guy who literally is the only person for some reason anyone in the NBA will listen to when it comes to the Lakers and the calls that they get when they lost to the Lakers, and he had that fiery post-game conference calling out the referees, which I don't even know if he got fined for. I hope he didn't, but I assume he did, because you just can't be saying shit like about the refs anymore, anywhere, any league. But I remember watching the game after. I bet on it. I don't even know what I had, but it was the Clippers-Raptors. I think I had the Raptors plus the spread, and they won. Or they covered the spread. I don't know if they won, but they were underdogs. But that game, you wouldn't believe the faces that were on Kawhi, James Harden, PG's face. They were flabbergasted with the calls the Raptors were getting. So the amount of times that people have been complaining about the Lakers refs, and nothing has happened, and at least we got one game of the refs kind of listening to someone. That's hilarious. So the Raptors, I'd say they're fringe. But those 4 in the play-in, the Heat, Magic, Bulls, and Hawks, I think the Heat are the only one with a chance to get into that top 6. I would assume the 76ers drop out without Joel Embiid. They're not going to have him probably until around the playoffs. That's my assumption. I'm not a knee expert, but I kind of am. Tore my ACL in 8th grade dunking. Not a big deal. First dunk of my life in layup lines of an AAU tournament, 13 years old. I didn't rattle the rim or anything, but I had bounce when I was a kid. I'm 26 now. Oh, 13 years ago. What do you know? Yammed one, right? Whew. Didn't yam it. Just put it right over the rim. Go get the rebound, come back in the layup line. I'm like, all right, I'm fucking Vince Carter now. So I go, try to yam it, get hung on the rim, land on the rebounder's foot, hyperextend my leg, complete ACL, complete meniscus. out for like 8 months, and then I played AAU that summer with the biggest fucking knee brace you'll ever see. But with Joel, I assume they're gonna miss him for a while. That lineup and that team just right now isn't gonna hold off the Heat. I think the Heat culture comes through. They'll be in that spot. Maybe even the Magic, but wouldn't count on it. So that puts us at the Sixers, Magic, Bulls, and Hawks being in the play-in. I like where the Bulls are at. Kobe White has ascended this year. Loved his game in college. He was a point guard on that North Carolina team with Nasir Little, Cam Johnson. They had a pretty good big, I forget, but I remember that team. Luke May also was on that team. Legendary guy. I think he plays over in Spain now. But they were the highest pace college basketball team in the country that year. So Kobe White, 6'4", PG, knows how to get after it. He's a bucket now. And Vucevic is on the record saying that they're not giving up this year at all. So they have guys who are committed. They have guys who want to play. I think if they get into a matchup with like the Cavs, if the Cavs end up holding the 2 seed, like a 2-7 matchup, I think the Bulls could upset them potentially. They have no chance past the second round, but I like them and I love DeRozan. So I don't really want to talk about the Hawks or the Magic, but the Heat, Pacers, Knicks, no. Celtics and Bucks are the two front dogs in the East right now. Okay, Celtics, top to bottom, are maybe the best team in the NBA. They maybe have the MVP in Jason Tatum. They have a phenomenal, active, and dedicated hooper in Jaylen Brown. I think when it's all said and done, he's going to have a fantastic career. That dunk contest performance was ass booty cheeks, but hey. And then the ascension of Kristaps, if he can stay healthy, they're going to make a deep run. And then the Bucks, I think the Bucks, people are counting out the Bucks, right? Doc Rivers, we'll talk about Pat Bev and JJ later, but the Bucks aren't going anywhere either, man. Aren't going anywhere either. If they win it, I would not be surprised. They've got a great balance of star players that they can rely on and absolute dogs. They have Giannis, who's a bit of a dog himself, but for the sake of this point, they have Giannis, they have Dame, they have Chris Middleton, and then they have Brook Lopez, who I know you probably just cringed, but skill players who are going to just hoop the right way. And then on the other side of the coin, they have Bobby Portis, Jay Crowder, Pat Bev, who are all... I don't know if that's going to come up in the recording, but did you see that thumbs up bubble that just... I don't know. But they have Pat Bev, Jay Crowder, and Bobby Portis, who they're going to need in a dogfight in the playoffs, a 7-game series where one of those guys is going to have to look out for Giannis, or one of those guys is going to come off the bench and have 12 points and 5 or 6 rebounds, and they're going to come in big moments. I think the Bucks roster shape is huge. Can Doc coach him to a finals? Can he let out this outside noise? Can they come together as a team, a coach and a unit, in the next couple months? That's all to see. We'll all see. And then I guess I'll say, out of the Hornets, Wizards, and Pistons, I like the Hornets the most. Yeah, LaMelo. They're in the best shape, but yeah, they're all lottery bound. So for the West, the standings are the Wolves, Thunder, Clippers, Nuggets, Suns, Pelicans. Those are the top 6. In the play-in currently, 7 through 10, we have the Mavs, Kings, Lakers, and Warriors. Looking eerily familiar the last couple of years. How one of these two teams, or both of them being in this play-in and fighting their way up. It's PTSD, honestly. And then in the bottom tier, Jazz, Rockets, Grizzlies, Blazers, Spurs. So let's eliminate the Spurs, Blazers, Grizzlies, and Jazz. I am a believer in the Rockets. Maybe not this year, but the West is stacked. Again, this is one of the more competitive seasons, in my opinion, of the NBA in recent years, the past decade, I would say, for sure, maybe even longer. But the Rockets are a team that could sneak into the play-in. But over who? Who knows? The Mavs, if they have some sort of collapse. Definitely not the Kings, Lakers, or Warriors, in my opinion. So, at the top, we have the Wolves and the Thunder, who have both been having phenomenal seasons. Young stars in Anthony Edwards and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Great energy, great regular season teams. Can they get it done when it matters in the postseason, right? Let's say one or both of these teams holds that first and second place position. And let's say the Lakers or the Warriors or even the Mavs or really right now, all four of those teams. If I'm the Wolves or the Thunder and I'm playing LeBron and AD, or I'm playing Steph Curry and Draymond in the first round of the playoffs, that is not a good look, guys. That is no bueno. I know the Wolves have been the best defensive team in the league this year. I know the Thunder have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who, let's not kid around here, top 5 player in the league. Top 5. Shai is genuinely amazing. I remember watching him at Kentucky, starting to figure it out. That's one of the main reasons I love watching college basketball. Seeing who in that Kentucky roster, all those 5 stars, who emerges out of the crowd. That year, Shai was coming off the bench halfway through the season, took the starting guard spot, and Kentucky didn't really do much in the tournament that year, but he was the guy. He went from this lanky sort of just this weird looking defender to bringing the ball up in the SEC tournament, and he he just wants to be better. He's great. But dude, if you were a betting man, would you bet the Thunder over the Warriors in the first round of the playoffs? No. With the way Steph Curry and that team has shaped up, it happened so quick, I feel like. I feel like people were trashing Klay, and then right after that, the Warriors just went on this mini win streak going into the break, and I think they're going to continue it coming out. So I have no worries for the Warriors. The Pels, non-factors. The Mavs, non-factors. The Kings are feisty. The Wolves and Thunder, I don't think they're going to do much. So that puts me, personally, my only contenders. My top 2 contenders are the Suns and the Warriors. I think the Suns, they're the best offensive rating in the league. They're starting 5. If we can use these next couple months before the playoffs, heading into the playoffs, to stay healthy and figure out some stuff on the defensive end, incorporate Royce O'Neal, incorporate Thaddeus Young, and find a little bit more of an identity, I think that we'll be all right. The Clippers and the Nuggets are 2 teams that are obviously contenders. You can't cut out Murray and Jokic, and you can't cut out the Clippers' big 3, especially with the way the Clippers were playing these past 2 months. But this has nothing to do with stats or anything. This is just simply vibes. I don't see those teams winning it this year. I just don't think they have the magic, right? All of the drama with Harden, him coming over, Ty Lue, the Nuggets have not looked sharp. They are missing Bruce Brown. And I think they can get got, essentially, is what I'm saying. The Pels are non-factors. They suck. The Suns, factors. I don't know. I think if the Suns have a 7-game series with the Nuggets or the Clippers, we can take them. With the Nuggets, you got to worry about Jokic. But Jokic and Nurkic, I think that matchup is oddly like a very, very good one. Nurkic is not scared of Jokic. They're buddies. They're both from the Eastern Bloc. Jokic is going to get his regardless, but I think Nurkic can step up his game enough to where we have a lot of contributions in the front court that'll help push us over. And then I don't give a damn who the other 3 guards on the other side. Book, KD, and Beal. Jamal Murray, MPJ, and KCP are not holding them. And then with the Clippers, that'll be a tougher series. The Clippers could catch us, but who knows? But let's talk about these odds, right? So kind of bouncing off of that, the odds to win the NBA championship, the Suns are plus 1,300. 5th best odds under the Celtics, who are plus 260, the Nuggets, who are plus 475, the Clippers plus 500, and the Bucks, who are plus 700. The Suns are kind of in this middle ground. We are plus 1,300, 13-1. And then the next best odds are the Wolves and the Knicks at plus 2,200, right? Then following that, Sixers and Thunder at 25-1, Lakers, Mavs, Cavs 30-1, Heat 35-1, Warriors 40-1. That Warriors line, if you can get in on that and they end up going for it, that's a hell of a payout if you bet it. But where the Suns are right now, I love it. I think we're still figuring it out, and I think we can figure it out. And when you have Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, there is nothing that we can't do. Nothing that we can't do. We just got to get hot at the right time. But the Warriors are a team that I'm terrified of. They're back. They're 100% back. Draymond and Steph as a 1-2 punch in terms of leadership and floor command is one that can absolutely beat anyone. I can see the same thing that happened in 2022 happen again. Teams fall here, the chips fall where they may in their favor. They have favorable first and second round matchups, and then once they're in the conference finals and in the finals, that those guys know what to do. They know how to win, and so it's just mano a mano for a 7-game series. I think the Warriors have 100% have a chance to win again, which would hurt me because that means the Suns lost, but it would also be so fucking cool to watch Steph win another one and see what people would say, because he'd have more than LeBron. I don't know. It's tough. But I kind of already talked about this stuff. Excuse me. Pat Bev versus JJ. Pat Bev got ratioed. Pat Bev is someone who I've turned around on since he started working with Barstool. I've been wanting to work at Barstool for the past few years. Love Roan. And seeing that this side of Pat Bev has made me, like him a lot, actually. But to come out of the blue and defend your coach, that's what Pat Bev is gonna do. He's gonna do that. He said, JJ basically went on First Take and was talking trash about Doc over some interview clip. Doc said something, I forget, but JJ said that Doc makes a lot of excuses, and this is a guy who played under Doc for several years in LA, and was basically insinuating he sells out his players, no accountability. He doesn't take accountability for his losses, is what he meant. And I think the reason JJ said that was because here we are. Doc absolutely choked the second round of the Eastern Conference when they lost to Trae Young. They had Ben Simmons, Joel, and last couple of years have just been disappointing and not enough. He hasn't done enough to get them to the conference finals or get them to the finals, right? And so Doc gets fired, and then halfway through the NBA season, Doc gets hired by a championship contender who I was just saying have a legitimate chance if they can mesh coach and team within like not even 2 months. Honestly, is the main reason JJ's mad because he has to work the NBA Finals now? Like he had to cancel like a summer vacation to Nantucket because Doc's ass like hightailed out to Milwaukee, and ESPN was like, please JJ, save our asses. I know we fired Van Gundy and Mark Jackson, and we shouldn't have, because them two with Mike Breen was one of the greatest broadcasting groups ever, and now it's just Mike Breen and Doris, and everyone hates it. Please save us, JJ. JJ's like, all right, I'll cancel my fucking 2-month trip to Rome and Europe and Barcelona and work this goddamn finals. Just saying. I think that might have been it. Maybe that morning JJ had just canceled his trip. Huh. Maybe I am good at this podcast and shit. But Pat Bev quote tweets it and said, this man Doc saved your career, started you when no one else wanted to. And you retire and go on TV and say that. So he saved your career, started you when no one else wanted to. That's a bit over the line, right? And then Pat Bev goes on his podcast saying, oh, I just didn't da-da-da-da-da. He's an agitator. Every ounce of his being is like saying something and then pretending like he didn't say it, and then poking the bear and then getting the bear to butt, like making other people look bad, right? Fucking, that's the part of Pat Bev that pisses me off, but whatever. And then JJ quote tweeted it, Pat, my guy, professional. I had a 4-year offer with a player option for the same money to be a starter on a different team. Fuck out of here, save my career. And then Pat Bev went on his podcast and said that, Doc stayed loyal to you. You should have been sitting on the bench when we beat y'all in the playoffs. And then Pat makes it about some other shit that's, mudslinging. It's a mudslinging, and that's the whole point that JJ was saying on the show. But JJ replied to that yesterday with with stats, And that tweet had like 54,000 likes. Absolutely fucking dummied him. I love you, Pat, but fucking A, dude. Just I wonder if Pat will take his L. You know what I mean? But Pat's not really the type to. So, who knows? But, yeah. That last little topic, JJ said it's their job to teach, and Stephen A. and Shannon are looking at him like, he's like, it's our job to teach these people. Why is my video about Zion Williamson being the point guard, it'll get 50,000 views on YouTube, but this little spiff with Pat will get like millions of engagements? And it's like, JJ, That's just the name of the game, brother. You got to live in both worlds. And I think JJ is good at it. Not great. He's like in these moments, people like that, well-educated, smart, stats. That's really why he emerged as like basketball's best TV analyst and the people's favorite TV analyst, because he has a little bit of both. He can talk shit and he has stats, but and he knows this. He has the best little basketball basketball media group, you could say, on the internet right now, and it's because of his knowledge of the game. It's because he can balance that smart talk, that smart data talk with the mixing it up. And so yeah, fans and people nowadays just want the mudslinging. It's unfortunate, but it's really just a state of where we're all at. Like, we give a TikToker who dances in front of a camera like millions and millions and millions of dollars, and like doctors are like, and nurses are like people who are saving lives, just like you're fucking grinding, not, fucking, what are like our priority? Like, it's our priorities right now, dude. But yeah, people just want the beef. But JJ won that shit. JJ knocked his ass out, to be honest, but Pat won't admit it. Shout out Pat though, love you. But yeah, this will be a little first episode of the Midseason Breakdown. I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna maybe try to do it Sunday. I think that's a good thing that I should do, so I can put out 2 a week, and I can really cover the NBA as we go into the playoffs. So thank you for listening. I'm gonna put this up on a YouTube page. I don't know where, and we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens.